Hello. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Mimi Show. Okay, we're going to get into it.
Utter chaos has engulfed the Gulf. Donald Trump's unlawful war against Iran is spiraling out of control. Utter chaos has engulfed the Gulf. The Middle East is on fire. Going into today, the markets were absolutely crashing internationally and here in the United States. The price of oil was going up dramatically, almost hitting $120 per barrel.
No
the Dow,
way,
NASDAQ,
Jose.
and S&P were crashing. Like almost circuit breaker crash was expected for the day. So what did Donald Trump do to manipulate the markets? He started calling up reporters and saying the war is pretty much complete, that the war is going to go away like a miracle. It's all just going to disappear and everything is going great. So on the news that Donald Trump was going to taco, that Trump always chickens out, all of a sudden we saw the price of oil dramatically decrease. We saw the stocks rebound and what was going to be a disastrous day on the market. And I mean a disaster. All of a sudden looked like, well, things were okay. And you may have been saying, what happened? Well, it was Donald Trump and his regime manipulating the market. And we learned more. Donald Trump had a conversation on the phone with Putin today. And Donald Trump credited Putin with coming up with a plan for the United States, how to end the war in Iran that Donald Trump started. That's very odd. Well, not for Donald Trump, while Donald Trump also talked about removing sanctions on Putin and Putin's ability to sell oil to the rest of the world. The Trump regime has already removed sanctions that now allow Russia to sell their oil to India. But Trump is considering removing sanctions on Russia to sell oil elsewhere. This war has been a massive boom for Putin, as the United States needs Zelensky's help and is begging Zelensky for help to stop these Iranian Shahed drones and ballistic missiles that Zelensky has worked to stop in Ukraine. So we are propping up Putin while begging Zelensky for help, which is like a worst case scenario, but that's typical Trump. Now, as we're recording this live, as the news sets in, which shouldn't be a shocker, that this war is not ending soon, we're now seeing the markets fluctuate in the opposite direction. We're seeing the price per barrel of oil now shoot up close to that $100 per barrel mark. We're seeing the futures markets starting to look really bad yet again. This is Donald Trump manipulating the markets, in my opinion. It's fairly obvious what's taking place. Then, before we went live, Donald Trump held a deranged press conference where he said that Iran potentially stole United States Tomahawk missiles and then used the Tomahawks on itself to kill 150 children in the elementary school in Iran and 185 people total. And then when reporters
doesn't mean that I'm a Democrat, Republican, liberal, whatever. I am just impartial.
Pressed him and said, you realize that nobody is saying that other than you? Like, you're making this up.
Hey,
and it was an American Tomahawk that crashed into this elementary school with American, it says made in America on it. We can see that it's Tomahawks. We see the crater marks. We know what happened now. This has been confirmed by our intelligence agencies, by multiple independent reports. And Trump is now saying that Iran tomahawked itself on the first day of the war. And reporters like, where are you getting that from? Upon information and belief. This is what I believe happened. More lies, more traitorous and treasonous conduct, in my view. And now the Trump regime is talking about an operation to try to retrieve the enriched uranium, which we have not stopped in Iran, and sending special forces and other ground troops in to do that. Then yesterday you had Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's chief propagandist, not rule out a draft for the American people, sending your children to war. And that's about a good summation of what's went down today. We're going to get into it. We're going to show you the receipts. We're going to show you the facts right now. But folks, it is an incredibly sad thing, and I'll bring in Brett and Jordy when I say this, to see what this Trump authoritarian regime
what Fox News is talking
has
about?
done to our country. Internationally,
Oh, you're
here,
talking
our
to the
reputation
man?
is shattered. Frankly, it's irreparable.
Okay.
Irreparable harm has been caused. And when I'm watching, whether it's Hegseth or Rubio or Trump or Caroline Levitt, the way we once looked at like Baghdad Bob, you know, and these characters from these authoritarian regimes with zero credibility and their behavior, our people right now in the United States who are in charge of this, although in charge is not how they're behaving, are way worse than that. And I see this behavior.
Let's just swoosh over here to Fox News. I want to see what Lindsey Graham has to say.
Here now with more South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, you know, as I listen to that to me is critical. If Donald Trump is offering them civilian use uranium that cannot be turned into weapons grade uranium, offering it to them for free in perpetuity, and they start out by saying that they have the absolute right to pursue nuclear weapons based on their history, their ideology, their chanting death to America. How could we not act?
Thank you, Sean. Number one, I want to make a comment. We're fighting people, the Ayatollah and his son, who did not fall far from his father's tree. They're religious Nazis. Nobody believed Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews and create a master race. They were wrong to miscalculate Hitler. People have miscalculated.
Are we really finna sit here and praise Hitler? Are we really about to do that? That's what we're doing.
The Ayatollah and this regime for a very long time. Barack Obama and Joe Biden were fools when it comes to Iran.
No, you're a fool.
What did Donald Trump do? He spoke them out. They do not want peaceful nuclear power. They want a bomb to purify Islam, to destroy the state of Israel, and come after us. They're religious Nazis, and Donald Trump proved that point. To Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, God bless you, you missed the most important thing said on your show. They admitted to Steve, the Iranians, they had 430 kilograms of highly enriched uranium at 60%. It would take less than a month to go to 90%, enough to make 11 bombs. So on your show,
see, this stuff he's saying is not true.
it was disclosed that the Iranians admitted to Steve Witkoff, we have enough highly enriched uranium to make 11 nuclear bombs. We literally dodged a nuclear bullet. If President Trump had not done this, they could have had a nuclear capability within months, weeks, not months.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe is a bunch of BS, Lindsey Graham. We do not know for a fact that they had nuclear situations to bring together. It's a bunch of bull.
And if they had a weapon, they would use it. To all those who don't believe that, you're stupid. You're a fool, and I hate to be so harsh.
Fool.
People got Hitler wrong.
You're stupid, Lindsey Graham. Listen to Shanoa. Look at this. Look at how Lindsey Graham is downplaying this. Listen to him.
Donald Trump is the right man at the right time. To our allies, if you can't join this fight, what fight are you going to join? To Spain. You won't.
The allies has said, we're not joining this fight with you, Donald Trump. We're not going to go with you with this war.
Let us use your our air bases in your country to stop a homicidal regime from getting nuclear weapons that terrorize the world. I am encouraging President Donald J. Trump tonight to move all of our bases out of Spain. we have an Article 5 commitment to Spain under NATO, but we shouldn't have air bases in a country that will not let us use those planes to protect the world against a religious Nazi regime. As to Lebanon, there is a military leader in charge of the Lebanese army that I don't trust as far as I can throw him. He is willfully ignoring Hezbollah. He's not disarming Hezbollah. There were rockets fired from areas that were supposed to be cleared by the Lebanese army. Let's get somebody in charge of the Lebanese military that will use it. Finally, to my friends in Saudi Arabia, I've been your biggest champion. I think the Crown Prince has taken Saudi Arabia in a completely different direction in a good way. But here's what I want to say to Saudi Arabia tonight. I'm willing to do a mutual defense agreement with your country to give you protection in perpetuity. Under the agreement I've been pushing, and I hope we can continue to talk about, if you're attacked by Iran, we would go to war for you. To Saudi Arabia, our embassy was hid in Riyadh. Do you not have an obligation to join the fight with us? You've yet to do that. So if you do not believe the American embassy being attacked in Riyadh would trigger mutual self-defense, maybe we shouldn't do a treaty with you. To our friends in the United Arab Emirates, you joined the Abraham Accords when nobody else would. You've been a great partner, but you said today publicly at the UN, your country would not be used to join the fight against the Ayatollah's regime. This is so disappointing. We need partners that will step.
No, we're not. They're not stepping up. They're not going to war. They're not going to engage in your silliness.
Afford in a fight that we can afford to lose. The Arab countries are as much at threat as we are. And I've been saying this for 20 years. Finally, we got a commander-in-chief that's clear-eyed. He tried diplomacy. He tried to give them what they say they want, peaceful nuclear power, and they told us to go to hell. And quietly and cheating, they acquired enough highly enriched uranium to build 11 bombs, and the world missed that. If it had not been for Witkoff and Jared, we wouldn't know that. So President Trump, not only did you do the right thing, you did it in the nick of time. And to all the critics of President Trump, do you really believe the Ayatollah wouldn't use a nuclear weapon if he had it? Do you really believe this regime is normal? They're no more normal than Hitler was. So we have a commander-in-chief tonight in President Trump who saved us in literally the nick of time. If we'd waited another year, they would have had 11 nuclear bombs, and they would use them. I've come to understand that there's some people you just can't.
You know what? I can't stand Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is making up stuff. Stop making up stuff, Lindsey Graham, and be on the up and up. You know good and well that this is not a good war. You have lost your ability to be a great person. Your legacy is over.
Deal with. If somebody wants to burn your house down, you don't negotiate with them, you stop them. So President Trump has embarked on a great quest to destroy a religious Nazi regime that would destroy us. I hope something better comes along. But tonight, we need to honor this young man and the other 6 who fell. The best thing you can do to honor this young man is finish the job he died for. And to all those who died in this endeavor called Epic Fury, you're protecting America, because I believe with all my heart and soul, if the regime in Iran still stands when this is over, we made a mistake. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would use it. They've been lying about what they're doing with their nuclear program. They want to bomb because they're Nazis, they're crazy. They want to kill all the Jews, and the Jews have been down that road before. To our friends in Israel, God bless you. I'm with you in every way. To all the anti-Seminites, to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump, who I think is Ronald Reagan plus. He's told the Iranians, you mess with the Strait of Hormuz, I'm going to destroy you beyond recognition. So tonight, I hope the American people understand that President Trump is doing what he had to do. You could not ignore this information and be a protector of America. The evidence was beyond clear. They do not want a nuclear power program. They want a bomb. And the only way they won't get a bomb is for somebody to stop them. And that somebody is Bibi and Trump. God bless you both.
Let me delve a little deeper with your frustration.
So the happiest man in the world these days is probably Lindsey Graham, because Lindsey Graham is getting absolutely everything he wanted out of the Trump regime. They have now gone full insane, bloodthirsty, psychopathic, neocon, warmonger, imperialist in a way that in his wildest imagination, I don't think he thought Trump would go this far. Okay. And there was reporting the other day, by the way, that Netanyahu was flying to Israel to routinely meet with Mossad so that Mossad could tell him what arguments to use to try to get Trump to agree to this illegal and offensive war against Iran. I mean, basically coming out and admitting he's working for Israel, he's working for Mossad, he's not working for the American people. Just a loathsome, disgusting cretin. This guy should immediately be kicked out of office. In reality, he should be fucking locked up. This guy should be locked up for the damage and the death and destruction that he's caused. But he went on Maria Bartiromo's show and gave us a little preview of what else is to come, and it's absolutely terrifying. Let's watch.
Joining me now in the Senate Morning Futures exclusive is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, which shapes the overall spending, as well as a member of the Appropriations Committee, which decides how money is actually spent. Senator, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I want to get your take on all this. $1 billion a day. Oil prices up 27% in a week. You've got the president.
$1 billion a day for this war. How do you justify that? Gas prices are up. $1 billion a day war. Let's see what Lindsey has to say about it.
Wanting a $1.5 trillion defense budget in 27. The idea that the Pentagon is about to come to you for $50 billion on these strikes to Iran. How are you going to answer?
Best money ever spent. Was it worth?
By the way, notice how even Maria Bartiromo, who's also a propagandist, could not spin it to make it sound good for the regime. Even she couldn't spin it. Like I told you, it's $11,500 per second. $1 to $2 billion per day. All right. And you bring that up and he's like, oh, I love that. Best money ever spent. Meanwhile, 18 million people were kicked off Medicaid. 18 million. Health insurance premiums are doubling, tripling, quadrupling.
People don't have health care. Let me say that again. 18,000 people have been kicked off of Medicare. What are they supposed to do? Go to the hospital and hope and wish that they get help? Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be real here. Lisa says Trump's great guide today. Died people walking around with no legs or arms, and Trumpers probably clapping at the crazy man. And he's cutting SNAP again next month. SNAP is gone, I believe, Lisa. I believe SNAP is gone. We have no SNAP. We have no Medicaid, no medical. What are we supposed to do? Heal ourselves? Why? Because he's got this war going on that's costing us $1 billion a day. And after he told the people, the American people, that he would not start a war. And here we are, Lindsey Graham, warning it.
And in some cases, more than that. Inflation's out of control. Unemployment's out of control. AI is taking everybody's fucking job. And this is your reaction? You think anybody's watching this going, that's right, do more war as opposed to helping me? God, so out of touch, man. It's insane.
Best money ever spent. Was it worth to America to take down a religious Nazi regime who's trying to build a nuclear?
People rely on those SNAP benefits. They rely on those SNAP benefits when there is a single mom or a single dad in the house that is raising their kids and need these SNAP benefits, but he's taking away our benefits. He took away Meals on Wheels. He took away insurance, health insurance, 18,000 people. Is that it? I know he did another number. I'm just didn't hear him.
Or weapon.
They're not a Nazi regime, and they're not trying to build nuclear weapons. Thanks for playing. Like, again, all the shit he fearmongers about when it comes to Iran is way more true of Israel. Okay? I mean, you want to talk about as close as you can get to a Nazi regime. They're a psychopathic apartheid ethno-state that is currently doing the whole Lebensraum thing and crusading and trying to take more territory. You tell me who's closer to the Nazis.
Deliver to America. That's a really good investment. They're going to fall. It's not if the regime falls, it's a matter of when. And you didn't mention today, and nobody has, quite frankly, we now know they had enough 60% enriched uranium to make 11 bombs.
Total lie.
What's that worth to America to make sure they don't have 11 bombs?
By the way, if they did have the capability.
You know what makes me sick is that how Lindsey Graham tries to portray these people of having something that they don't have. And Shanoa says, Representative Thomas Massey said that Epstein files implicated Trump's billionaires, Trump the billionaires, his friends, politicians, U.S. agencies, and Israel. That's why Trump's fighting so hard to keep them from coming out. I believe it.
Abilities he just laid out, we wouldn't be doing this attack. If the U.S. thought, oh my God, if we attack, then they could nuke us, then there's no way we would have done the attack. How do I know? Look at Kim Jong-un, excuse me. Kim Jong-un has a bomb. Nobody can fuck with him, right? Gaddafi, the head of Libya, he gave up his weapons of mass destruction, was overthrown and then sodomized with a bayonet and murdered. Recorded, by the way. Recorded. Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction. He got overthrown and murdered. Okay? Guys, understand the message is sent to every country. Get nukes as fast as you possibly can. Because if you don't, at the whim of the West, they could just illegally overthrow you, assassinate you, destroy your country on a whim. And then here he is lying again.
All of this money is to make sure they never go nuclear, they can't hit us with ballistic missiles, and they stop terrorizing the region.
Says the biggest dick sucker of Israel I've ever seen. You want to talk about terrorizing the region? They just did a genocide in Gaza. They're doing pogroms in the West Bank right now. They're currently stealing half of fucking Lebanon. And they're, of course, terrorizing innocent civilians in Iran and hitting elementary schools and blowing up oil refineries and rendering an entire city of 10 million people toxic. Like, this guy, he's a sick joke. This guy's a sick joke. The fucking videos that they have on him must be mind-boggling, bro. The shit that they have on him, the pictures, the videos, all the compromat, it's got to be just astonishing, out of this world stuff that he would not want to come out no matter what. So he's willing to support the destruction of the earth before we learn about what he's into.
We're going to make a ton of money. Nobody will threaten the Straits of Hormuz again. But Donald J. Trump,
they're literally doing it right now. Like, as the Strait of Hormuz is cut off, you're like, they're not going to threaten the Strait of Hormuz.
What does Clinton have to do with this 623? What does Clinton have to do with the fact that Donald Trump has started a war and it's $1 billion a day? Gas prices is going up and they're lying about the resources, about what Iran has. They don't have a nuclear weapon. They're not building a nuclear weapon. And Lindsey Graham is lying through his teeth.
Again, motherfucker, the regime is still intact. Ayatollah Khomeini was replaced by Ayatollah Khomeini, and he's harder line than his dad was. What are you talking about? And he said it's not if, it's when they get overthrown. Is it really?
Witkoff, the negotiator, was told by the Iranians openly that they have stockpiled enough 60% enriched uranium, 460 kilograms, to make 11 bombs. Thank God Trump did this. Can you imagine?
11 bombs. That's that stupid stuff. That's that stupid stuff. You just want to go over there and hurt these people. Go over there and take their resources. We're stealing. And then we're making excuses as we take. Stop the bull crap, Lindsey Graham.
In a year from now, what would it cost America if Iran had 11 nuclear bombs to threaten us?
It would cost absolutely nothing, because if they had, it would actually save us a lot of money. It would save us, as of right now, what, $8 billion, $9 billion, because that's what this war has cost already. It would save us that amount of money, because then we wouldn't be able to do this war. The world would be more stable. The world would be more safe. And you wouldn't have innocent people in elementary schools getting murdered if they had that bomb.
Hold us hostage. We would be held hostage in perpetuity by this terrorist regime. So the money we're spending is a good investment.
That don't even sound right. The United States is going to be held hostage. That don't even sound right, Lindsey Graham. Stop making up stuff. You're just making up stuff.
To take down a regime that's been the largest state sponsor of terrorism, has got American blood on its hands. And when this regime falls, it's not if, when. We're going to have a gateway to peace. And the next thing will happen.
Gateway to peace. We're doing war for peace. We're doing war for peace. He keeps calling them a terrorist regime. Has he said fucking anything at all about the elementary school that we bombed? And the fact that now we're actually double digits. We've hit double digits, hospitals and schools. Has he said anything about any?
We're sweeping that under the rug. We don't want nobody to know that we did that. It wasn't us, it was them. That's what Donald Trump is telling us. But we know it was us that bombed the school and hospitals. It was us, the US of A.
Any of that? No, he hasn't. Has he condemned the attack on the refinery, which is
No.
leading to the whole city of Tehran being poisoned? By the way, he did release a tweet where he was like, excuse me, Israel, let's be a little careful here. Let's not go that far, because remember, we're liberating these people. It's fucking ass covering. It's ass covering. The real terrorists are our government and the Israeli government, the axis of Epstein.
Is Saudi Arabia will recognize Israel, and that will be the biggest change in 2,000 years in the Mideast. And Donald J. Trump is the man to make it all happen. He's the first president in 47 years to call the question on the Iranian regime. They're religious Nazis. We negotiated with them. They would not give up their enriched uranium. They would not pledge to stop making weapons that could hit America.
He's just lying.
He's lying, and it's theirs. Why the hell do they need to give up something that belongs to them? Who the hell are you?
They agreed to the hardest line restrictions literally hours before they were attacked. Like, I don't think you guys understand the truth.
Oh, he said it. They agreed. And they attacked them anyway.
True depths of the depravity of these psychopaths. Like, this guy is a dead-eyed, murderous, terrorist, death cult psychopath.
Ooh.
Everything he's saying here is not true. There's detailed reporting about how Iran agreed to the strictest restrictions
lying.
on enriched uranium right before they were attacked.
They still fund the proxies. When this regime falls, there'll be no money for Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. What is that worth? So the money we're spending to take
Bro called them the Houthis. They're funding Houthi and the Blowfish.
this regime.
First of all, they need to get Donald Trump's ass up in there and ask him some questions about Epstein, because he was been in the files and they were best friends for 10 years. Secondly, what does the Clintons got to do with the war and high gas prices? Just asking for a friend.
Regime down is going to make us safer. It's going to keep them from having
Not gonna
nuclear
make
capability.
us safer. We're already safe. That's stupid stuff. They're gonna come and get us if we don't get the nukes. They don't have nukes, but they can make some. So we got to be careful. That's that stupid stuff.
Down the road, and
Why does he seem drunk? Is it just me? This is an interview during the day. Doesn't he seem drunk? Even look at Maria Bartiromo's face. Even she's not buying this shit.
we will have a new Mideast where we make money. But it ain't about money today. It's about 6 Americans who died in the defense of our country.
It ain't about money. Has he ever said that about universal health care or free college or a living wage? Has he ever said that? No, it's never like, holy shit, 60,000 Americans die every year from not having health care. This is not about the money. We need to protect our people. Never. It's
18,000 people have lost their health care recently. What are these people supposed to do without health care?
It's only not about the money when you're blowing up innocent brown people.
Now, to our Arab friends, you're being hit too. Has any Arab country struck Iran? Now, if you want a treaty with the United States, you need to get in this fight. Now, America's not going to the Mideast just to fight alone. So I'm urging our Arab allies to fight.
No, your allies said, hell no, they're not getting into this fight with you. They don't believe in the fight. That's what I heard, word on the curb.
back. You're being hit too.
This man is such a psychopath. Do you not understand those countries are now cooked, you fucking idiot? Do you not understand their whole thing is oil and gas and tourism for the 1%? And now the 1% is not going to want to go there because they're not stable and they won't feel safe. And oil and gas is cooked because they shut the Strait of Hormuz. How fucking stupid are you that you think what? You can yell at them and get them to enter the war on your side?
Exactly.
Are you out of your fucking minds? They're begging for this to stop right now. They think Trump's a fucking idiot. They think he started World War III. They're looking for a way out of this shit. Oh my God.
They don't want to go to war with Donald Trump. Iran don't want to do this with Donald Trump, but they have no choice. He put them in a situation where they have to fight. Are we in World War III, guys?
I need you to understand that, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Republicans and more broadly conservatives are fucking stupid. They're low IQ, They don't know what they're doing. They're immensely incompetent. They all suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect, where because they know nothing, they just have that instinct of like, yeah, I actually know everything about this. It's like when the fat drunk is sitting on the couch watching UFC and he goes, I could kick that guy's ass. Just let me in there, bro. I bet you I could knock him out with one punch. That's what Lindsey Graham is, except it's geopolitics and it's world war that we're talking about here.
So how does this end? It ends with victory. Donald J. Trump is going to bring this regime down. It's going to be replaced by something more friendly to the United States. It's going to open up the biggest deal in 2,000 years where Saudi Arabia and Israel not only recognize each other, they will do business. Trump's a man of peace and business. Finally, Venezuela and Iran have 31% of the world's oil reserves. We're going to have a partnership with 31%.
It feels like we're taking it, Lindsey Graham. Doesn't it sound like we're taking something that doesn't belong to you?
The known reserves. This is China's nightmare. Yeah. This is a good investment.
He is so drunk.
And we should applaud our men and women in the military for doing something I've never seen done before, decimating a brutal enemy in 9 days.
Okay.
Decimating an enemy in 9 days. How did they become our enemy in 9 days? I'm just trying to figure this out because we struck first.
But here's the problem. You just admitted it's about the oil, you fuckhead. Trump has been saying it.
He did.
We're going to take the oil. That's what we're going to take the oil.
Take the oil and then we'll have some in reserve and then we're going to take their shit. How are you going to go over there and take something that doesn't belong to you? That's just like me coming in your house and saying, I want a hamburger. So I go in your refrigerator and take everything out that goes with the hamburger and leave. And then how would you feel if I came up in your house taking stuff? Excuse me, starting fires.
Yeah. So you don't get to do the whole like, oh, I care about the Venezuelan people. No, you don't. You want to steal their shit. You want to steal their shit.
Really great points all around, Senator. I don't know where to start. Number one, how are you going to better secure the Strait of Hormuz so that we don't see more spikes in the price of oil? Number two, are you telling us you want the United Arab Emirates and the Saudis to lash out and strike Iran right now?
I want them to get in the fight. We sell them weapons. Iran is striking their country. They have good capability.
Iran is only striking their countries because we have U.S. military bases there. You fucking psychopath. Oh my God. You're better off watching and learning nothing from the news than watching Lindsey Graham babble about this shit.
What if the regime fell? Then you never had anybody in Iran in the future that wants to close the strait. What if you had Iran with people who don't want to build a nuclear weapon to kill us all? What if you had Iran in the future that doesn't support Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis? That's where we're headed.
He keeps calling them the Houthis.
Yeah, I remember the big flip-flop he did in January 6th. At first, he was appalled and upset with Donald Trump because he had didn't stop the January 6th situation. And then he flip-flop. Lindsey Graham is a flip-flopper. He is not to be taken seriously. Why is he still in office? That's right, Linda. Trump sold his soul to the Jews in Israel. Ooh, says Cold.
He's got these really strong feelings on all this stuff. He doesn't even know the name of the Houthis.
Donald J. Trump is going to bring this terrorist regime down. We're going to have partners in Iran, and we're going to open up a gateway to peace. This won't fix itself.
So we're doing endless war in order to achieve peace. I mean, Orwell is rolling over in his fucking grave right now.
That's stupid shit. How are we taking the oil for this to be peace? Make that make sense, Lindsey Graham. Does that make sense to you? Oh, we're taking the oil for peace reasons. We're fighting them for peace reasons. Make it make sense. Not according to Lindsey Graham, Debbie. No, he is not a very intelligent person. He does live in La La Land.
I mean, the extent to which this shit, it's like when they were arguing within the first like 3 or 4 days. I think there's some of them are still doing it. They're like, this is a war. This is not a war. This is a special operation. Well, this is a war. You cut back and forth. You got different people in the regime and different people in MAGA going, this war is going to be quick. Others going, this actually isn't even a war, bro. They can't even, guys, if they can't even get that nailed down, think about how incompetent everything else they're doing is, right? They can't even agree to call it a war or not call it a war. Think about how stupid like the engineers behind this actually are.
President Trump is in the process of doing it. They're going to lose and we're going to win.
All
Israel
right,
and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks, meaning what?
In other words, are you saying like you're going to nuke them?
Hold
We're
on.
going to blow the hell out of these people.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Slow down. You gonna do what? You gonna do what to these people?
The next 2 weeks, meaning what?
In other words, are you saying like you're going to nuke them?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people.
Miss Lindsay.
You're going to blow the hell out of these people? What people? Why is he blowing the hell out of any people? None whatsoever, Debbie. None whatsoever. Over there, we have no business being over there, period. Messing with nothing that doesn't belong to us. It just sounds like war crimes to me. This is a senseless war, Debbie. It doesn't make sense. Lindsey Graham got us thinking that, oh, it's all because of the nukes, the uranium. And then he says they're going to blow these people up.
This actually are.
President Trump is in the process of doing it. They're going to lose and we're going to win.
All
Israel
right,
and the United States,
up.
you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks, meaning what?
We're
In
gonna
other words,
blow
are
them
you
up.
saying like you're going to nuke them?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people.
Miss Lindsay. I'm going to blow the hell out of them. I'm going to lay them right down and take down their pants, and I'm going to get right in on that thing. I'm going to blow him so good it's going to make his toes curl.
We're going to blow him to smithereens.
He's going to feel so much pleasure. It's going to be over in like 2 minutes. I'm going to blow him so good. I'm going to blow all of them. I'm going to lay them all down and start blowing them. I'm going to do the Trump dance and get them started, and then I'm going to start blowing them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my God.
Is in a death row now. It is going to be on its knees. It's going to.
Oh, come on.
On his knees.
They're going to be on their knees, and I like it when they're on there. I like being on my knees, and then I'm going to blow them. I'm going to blow all of them. Every single one. I'm going to line them all up and blow them all.
And when it falls, we're going to have peace like no other time. We're going to have prosperity unlike anyone could ever imagine. Peace brings prosperity. You can't do it by talking. The Democrats criticize this operation. They didn't do a damn thing. These men and women in the military should make us all proud.
The Democrats criticized this operation. They didn't do a damn thing. What they did was actually bring peace. That's what Barack Obama did with the JCPOA. It was a fact that it was working, not us speaking. The IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN, verified this was working perfectly.
Okay, let
and then
me make this very clear. There is no excuse for this behavior from the United States of America to be over there striking and hitting anybody for any reason. We need to get out of their business, leave their oil alone, and stop the madness. Stop making excuses for our bad behavior. This Lindsey Graham's talking about blowing some people up. And the excuses, Debbie, the excuses is it's just, it is.
You fucking psychos ripped it up because you are ontologically pro-war. You love death, you love destruction, you love violence. That's the fact. Okay? And Israel wants it to be a motherfucking failed state. That's what they want Iran to be so they can create a greater Israel. And you're being played like a fucking fiddle.
And they have already. Number 3, real quick, are you going to support the president's request for $1.5 trillion budget defense in 27? And will you respond yes to a potential supplemental defense package of $50 billion from the Pentagon?
Yes.
What a question. What did you do? You?
We need to stay out of those people's business. We're all up in their business.
You want to fund more war, Lindsey Graham? Actually, no, I'd rather not. Thank you very much. Come on, man.
Both. We need it. We want the strongest military to end the wars quickly. Look what we're doing here. We've lost 6 soldiers. God bless them. We're devastating the enemy. I'm not looking for a fair fight. If we get in a fight, I want to win it. I want to win it quick. I'm in Miami. You see this hat? Free Cuba. Stay tuned. The liberation of Cuba is upon us. It's just a matter of time now. You see this hat? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys.
Oh, my God.
No.
They're literal Nazis at this point. We're marching through the world. We're taking...
Do not put us all in that BS with you, Lindsey Graham. You're on your own. Okay?
Out the bad guys. We're going to free Iran. We're going to free Cuba.
Iran.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Captive.
And then you got Trump saying he's going to steal Greenland. He's going to steal Panama. They already overthrew Venezuela, stole the oil, and Trump put hundreds of millions of dollars in a private bank account. Like he says, they're going to do it to Cuba. Like, I need you to understand. They are trying to expand the footprint of the U.S. They're trying to create the technate states of America. Okay? Trump wants more territory. He wants to go down in the history books as expanding the U.S. empire. Israel's creating the...
Iran want us to get the hell out of there. This is a frivolous war that should not be going on. We need to get the hell out of there. The people that voted for Donald Trump need to speak up.
The greater Israel. That's why I call them the Axis of Epstein, and I call them the Fourth Reich. This is Fourth Reich shit. We're marching through the world is what he just said. Guys, we're completely and utterly out of control. We are out of control. Can you imagine being another country around the world looking at what we're doing?
Look at what we're doing.
What you realize very quickly is, oh my God, you literally can't work with the Americans.
My UK family, what are you guys thinking? Look at us. Look what we're doing. What do you guys think about what we're doing? You don't see the UK helping or sending bombs and situations over there to Iran. No. You don't see our allies doing this.
Americans. The Americans will make a deal with you, pull out of that deal the next day, stab you in the back. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. They've ripped up every fucking treaty, every economic agreement, tariff the entire fucking world, like turn their backs on the world. Like, you can't trust them. So what do you do with a nation that you can't make a deal with? You can't trust their word. They lie all the time, and now they're incredibly expansionist, and they're crusading from place to place, overthrowing government after government to steal their natural resources and enslave the populations. What do you call that? What do you call that? I'm telling you, this is Nazi-like shit. And here we have the chief drunk fucking Nazi who's out there, and like Lindsey Graham always does, says the quiet part out loud by accident.
You see this at? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys. We're going to have relationships with new people that will make us prosperous and safe. I've never seen anybody like it. This is Ronald Reagan plus. Donald Trump is resetting the world. And
hold up. Lisa says, if Iran wanted us to help, why are they fighting back? Just another unintelligent Trump statement. You know, it says Mega's trying to save face. That's why they keep defending Trump. Linda says America is going down in history as an evil country of this century. Look at there. Now, you know that was from the heart, Linda. I felt that one. Boom. That hit me in the face. Iranian people are burning the flags of Israel and U.S., but the people want our help. Make it make sense. Debbie, what's going on in Iran and their people is their business. It'd be different if we were going over there specifically to help with their regime situation. We're not going over there to help them with the regime. We're over there stealing oil, and we're over there doing nefarious things and lying on these people. Stop deflecting. See, dial up, we understand. And see, that's what I'm saying. When is he gonna knock on your door? When is he coming? When is he gonna get there? When is he gonna say, oh, it's happening to me? They're taking somebody out that I love. They're not an immigrant. They're just removing them from our house because of the color of their skin. I understand, Dial-Up. You have your reasons. No, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like this, Dial-Up. It wasn't like wars going on, people losing their SNAP stuff, people losing their health benefits. We wasn't losing the things that we need to survive. It's getting worse. Makes sense, because didn't ICE just kill 2 of us? ICE just killed 2 of us, unalived, YouTube, unalived.
In a way nobody could have dreamed of a year ago. He is the greatest commander-in-chief of all time. Our military is the best of all time. Our line is going down, and Cuba is next.
29% approval rating incoming.
It's
collapse of the global economy. We're in the midst of it right now. Oil prices skyrocketing. Furious people in the streets. He's sitting here praising, oh, we're going after the bad guys, as we snuggle up and follow the lead of a literal genocidal freak who just murdered hundreds of thousands of people in Gaza and are starving people to death. I mean, this is beyond parody at this point. These people are locked up. They need to be locked up. For the sake of humanity, they need to be locked up. We can't let them get away with this.
They do.
So they need to learn the lesson. I'm serious when I say this. In the same way there was denazification, we need demagnification in this country. And he's such a clear example as to why we have no choice but to do that.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
When you have an incompetent, dementia-ridden president and he starts a war, the war is also incompetent and riddled with dementia-style tactics, disjointed military operations, no clear purpose for the war. And because we have been so void in the United States of America of actual journalism, it's been so bad that when somebody does real journalism, you feel like, oh my gosh, somebody's throwing us a crumb. And I want to give a shout out to Sean McCreesh of the New York Times, who yesterday asked a real journalistic question to our dipshit president who got us into an
them men killed them people. ICE killed, they killed unalived those 2 people. I believe it was Grace and also Peretti. They killed those 2 civilians. He was in the street minding his own business and doing his own thing, and those ICE people did pow pow. Good morning from Australia. Hello, Del. I don't need to know, Debbie, to know that we're over there messing with these people. Period.
insane illegal war. Play the clip.
Illegal.
You just
war.
suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation, but tomahawks are used by others, as you know, Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Okay. He says, why are you saying that? And Trump admits, because I just don't know anything. I just don't know. So I'm just up here freeballing. I mean, that's basically what it is. And the fact that we are so thirsty for this style of journalism, and that, you know, the United States of America, that Tomahawk missile bombed an elementary school. Now, I know that on the MAGA side, they don't really care about Arabs or if Iranian schoolgirls are killed. We know they don't, because they don't care if Americans are shot in the streets. They don't care if immigrant children are put in alligator Alcatraz or are put in concentration camps, that Stephen Miller's purchasing all these warehouses. We know that. But some of us do, and we need to be loud about this. We attacked an elementary school, and now Israel is attacking all of their infrastructure, water, etc. This is an illegal war, and that's the guy in charge of it. That guy, Donald Trump.
What's interesting about the claim that the Iranians bombed their own school is, even if the Iranians had Tomahawk missiles, which they don't have a way to launch them. And the fact that the president of the United States does not face backlash within Congress, that he doesn't know. He says, I don't know. And everybody just leaves it at that. And to your point about journalism, systematically in Trump 2.0, they've banned reporters from the Pentagon. They've banned reporters from the White House press pool so that they're friendly. Laura Loomer is even reporting from the Pentagon. This is by design, because I believe they know how fucked up what they're doing is, starting January 20th of 2020-25, all the way into this. And I agree with you completely. Elect an incompetent person, you will get an incompetent war.
All right. And then moving along, Trump's doublespeak and always trying to play both sides of everything has been ubiquitous in his life, long before he ever entered the political sphere. And here he is, both simultaneously claiming victory over Iran while also claiming a continuation. And let me unpack why he's doing this. He was advised by the Pentagon, the Joint Chiefs, do not do this war. It would be long. We probably wouldn't win. We do not advise of this. I don't know if anybody in his cabinet advised him about the economic fallout of this war. And I tend to think, no, they didn't, because I think he just had Benjamin Netanyahu and Lindsey Graham in his ear over and over. And as we know with this president, whoever has his ear the last are usually the sentiments that he echoes. That's how weak American leadership is. That's how weak it is. That if Pumps and I hung out with
Lisa, he did not just say that. Did he just say that? They stole it and then purposely bombed the school. See, that's that dumb stuff. Who believes it? It's just like that bleach. Drink the bleach and it'll heal you. They stole the bomb and then shot the kids with the bomb. Why would they need to steal it? Why would they need to steal anything? Make it make sense. That's a first.
with him for a couple of days, we'd get him all like, LGBTQ plus, yes, queen. Yeah. You know, like that's just how easily manipulatable this man is. So here he's asked a question, and he both claims victory and continuation of the war at the same time. And I just want to remind everybody, Fox News, Jake Tapper, we're going on and on and on about Joe Biden and how old he was. And I saw it. I told Pumps at the time, I do not think this man can win. He is not young and the energy that we need in a commander-in-chief. This is like beyond Biden. Play the clip.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared?
Well, I think you could say both.
For?
The beginning, it's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. They have no radar. They have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So you look at that statement. We could.
Okay, that's enough. So, number one, he answers with, "Oh, it's both. We won the war, and we're going to continue it." And number two, then he just starts lying. They have no leadership. Are you not briefed on the fact that his son, Ayatollah Khamenei's son, is now the leader? Oh, I know you were briefed on it because I saw a comment where you said you didn't like that.
Dell said, pick a lane. Last week, he said he completely destroyed Iran's navy. Today, he said he destroyed 15 more ships, mining the straits. Pick a lane. This war is Operation Epstein Fury. Yeah, he's telling a story. You can't believe nothing he said.
Leadership, and you wanted to pick the leader. So we have a crime syndicate that runs the United States federal government. And I think, like, I've watched a lot of mafia shows. Of course, they're great. Godfather, all of that stuff. Usually the mob boss is pretty smart, like diabolical for sure, evil, sociopathic, but they're kind of smart. Like they have a method to their madness. This guy's brain is so cooked. And the fact that there's still so much acquiescence, still so much capitulation, Republican support surrounding this war is very, very solidified. And these people.
And I'm just like, this is sad. This behavior is sickening. And that this is the United States of America right now. It is sick.
Oh, he said this is sickening. And for us to be the United States of America right now, it's sickening. He's appalled by the situation. Let's rewind that. He's sickening.
Of what's went down today. We're going to get into it. We're going to show you the receipts. We're going to show you the facts right now. But folks, it is an incredibly sad thing, and I'll bring in Brett and Jordy when I say this, to see what this Trump authoritarian regime has done to our country. Internationally, here, our reputation is shattered. Frankly, it's irreparable. Irreparable harm has been caused. And when I'm watching, whether it's Hegseth or Rubio or Trump or Caroline Leonard, the way we once looked at like Baghdad Bob, you know, and these characters from these authoritarian regimes with zero credibility and their behavior, our people right now in the United States who are in charge of this, although in charge is not how they're behaving, are way worse than that. And I see this behavior and I'm just like, this is sad. This behavior is sickening. And that this is the United States of America right now. It is sick and disgusting, and it needs to be reported as such. Brett and Jordy, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Ben. Good to see you, Jordy. Good to see everybody who's tuning in right now live on the Midas Touch YouTube channel and everybody who is listening to this on the Midas Touch audio podcast. Great to be here. A whole lot to discuss. You know, lying is bad enough during, times of relative peace. Lying is bad enough when it's about inconsequential things that don't really matter. When it comes to moments of war, when it comes to moments of life or death, those lies just become so heinous. And the lies that we are seeing right now from the Trump White House, I want to be clear, none of this is surprising at all. This is what Trump does about literally everything. But the lies we are seeing right now out of Trump and this White House and all of these sycophants around Donald Trump in Congress are just so despicable that they make the Bush administration and the lies that they put out there to bring us into the Iraq war, they make them look like honest brokers. That's how bad these people are right now. They're just so egregious. The things that they are trying to defend are just indefensible, like the bombing of those children in the school in Iran and the constant lying about it despite all evidence to the contrary. All these kind of mixed messages they're giving the American people. Trump was basically earlier today saying basically that he was going to surrender, and then in the next breath he'd say that this war is going to go as long as it takes and it could take a really long time. You don't know what to believe. Unfortunately, it's impossible to trust anything that's coming right now from the Trump regime. I mean, as always, but like I said, it's heightened right now. In the last episode of the podcast, I said this was really reminding me of the way Donald Trump handled COVID with the endless lying and the kind of timelines of it's gone, it's never going to come here, 15 days going down to zero, like a miracle, it's going to go away. And as every kind of hour passed since then, I feel like it's become more and more and more kind of exactly like that. I know we got a lot to discuss, so I'm going to stop rambling. But I go over to Jordy. Jordy, what's the latest on your end?
What's up, brothers? What's up, Midas Mighty? Big show tonight. I'm excited to get into it. Hey, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the audio version of this podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, it's totally free. Just search the Midas Touch podcast and we'll pop up. Hit that subscribe button. It's really helpful. Look, I'm very excited to get into tonight's show. The situation is a political and strategic nightmare for the Trump regime. First off, it just completely undermines Trump's core brand, right? This idea of strength and this America first efficiency. I mean, Trump campaigned on ending forever wars. Instead, it looks like he's gotten us in another one with literally zero clear exit strategy, aside from him just saying, yeah, I think we're wrapping up. You can't trust what the guy's saying. Instead of a pro-democracy uprising in Iran, because there was no plan or thought really put into this, the strikes unify the Iranian public against the U.S. This makes any sort of long-term victory just impossible and puts our troops at risk, puts our embassies at risk, and our citizens here in the States at risk. And also, what you can't overstate here is the economic shock of it all, with the surging oil prices, the disruption to the global trade routes. The immediate inflationary pressure on the American consumer is being felt now more than ever. And the Trump economy is being dragged down by a war of his choice while the American people are suffering the consequences. And I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic, but it's obvious. This is going to get really, really bad. Ben.
Yeah, I don't like any propaganda. So let me be clear there. But the Trump propaganda is also just so bad. Like, it is infantile in its execution and formulation. And it's like, you can't even do propaganda, right? Like you're trying to do what the authoritarian regimes do, but you're also bad at that. You're bad at everything right now. Whether they're posting videos of like Grand Theft Auto or like NFL linebackers, like tackling people videos and mixing it with war footage, or they were showing the different like cartoon, like what in the world are you doing? And then like the music artists call them out and like, stop stealing my songs. And the directors of the movies like, stop using me for like war propaganda. Like, what are you even, doing right here? Right. So I'll tell you how I experienced today's news, because I taught today. So there was about an hour and a half where I was out teaching my class at USC. And so before I taught my class, the markets were tanking and it looked like it was going to be a very grim day economically for this country, perhaps one of the worst out there. Then I leave the class, I go out and I'm like, what's going on? The markets are going up. The price of oil's going down. Oh, that's surprised. Did something good happen that I'm unaware of? So I start looking, I see on the newswire, Trump, I think the Iran war is pretty much complete. And I learned where did he say this? And he said it to CBS, Weijia Jiang. And he said, and this is what she reported from CBS. In a phone interview, Trump told me that the war could be over soon. I think the war is very complete, pretty much. They have no Navy, no communications. They've got no Air Force. He added that the U.S. is very far ahead of its initial 4 to 5 week estimated time frame. He wasn't there, he told Weijia. Asked about Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khomeini. That's the son of the prior Ayatollah, who's more extreme than the prior Ayatollah, who Trump has openly criticized. Trump said, I have no message for him, none whatsoever. Trump said he had someone in mind to replace Khomeini, but he did not elaborate. As for the Strait of Hormuz, Trump noted that ships are moving through for now, but he is thinking about taking it over. Trump warned Iran, they've shot everything they have to shoot, and they better not try anything cute, or it's going to be the end of that country. So I said, that's what happened. And if you looked at the market, whether it's the S&P, starts shooting up. You look at the price of oil per barrel, it starts tanking down like 30%. So, okay, gas prices are going to be more affordable now. What's going on? So then I put on my journalist cap and I go, I get that Weijia's saying that. I get CBS is saying that. But are they just stenographers for the regime? And let me be clear, Weijia's a good reporter. But I think in this day and age, you can't be a stenographer for the Trump regime. So because she's she asks great questions. She really does. To me, she's one of the top reporters out there, in the White House. So then I'm looking around and I'm confused because I'm like, okay, I know he said this. I see the markets reacting, but is there any evidence for this out there? And so I'm looking, like I'm going through all my open source informations, Telegram. I'm speaking to our editorial team. Like, is there anything true to this? Where is this No, it's just Trump said. I said, really? Trump said? And this is what's happening right now? When it actually bears no resemblance to what's happening in Trump's unlawful war? Well, actually, things are just as bad as they were before. And Iran still has the capabilities, and they haven't run out of missiles, and they've done a transition of power to someone arguably politically significantly more extreme than the past leader. They have their foreign ministers and National Security Council advisors doing American media and British media and media locally describing what's going on. I'm looking at the videos from Tehran. I'm seeing people there by the hundreds of thousands in the street protesting, not the Ayatollah, against Trump, against the Trump regime, against Israel, and rallying behind the Ayatollah. We've lost even the people who wanted the Ayatollah gone because Donald Trump's made comments like, we're going to change the map of Iran. The next Ayatollah is going to have to be selected by me and Netanyahu. And so you've lost the support of even people there who may have been inclined to support you before, but then it gets worse. He spoke to Putin. I'm like, well, this is being reported publicly. Yeah. How do we know he spoke to Putin? The Kremlin's been bragging about it. So Trump's been asked about it and he's admitted that he did it, but the Kremlin immediately did the readout of what was said. So Putin, in a phone call with Trump today, shared proposals to end the Iran war quickly. And they also spoke about Ukraine. And they also spoke about Donald Trump removing sanctions from Russia to allow.
Is this Gaza? This is crazy. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna watch this. Okay, wait. We'll come right back to you. Look at this country. Look what Russia has done. Or no, not Russia. This is Gaza. Baby, look at Gaza. What the hell? This is depressing. He needs to leave Putin alone. That is insane. Tel Aviv. That is crazy. Look at their country. Look what war does. This is a good idea. This isn't a good idea. This is not a good thing. This is horrible. We're going to come back and look at that again.
This is your breaking news. Donald Trump's unlawful war against Iran spiraling out of control. This just coming out over the wire. Now we know that as many as 150 U.S. troops have been wounded in the war with Iran, according to sources familiar with the matter, far higher than the Pentagon's publicly disclosed figure of just 8 seriously wounded troops. The true toll of this war is already far worse than the public has been told. This has been a major cover-up by the Trump regime. And now our military and Caroline Leavitt is also confirming that these numbers are, quote, within the ballpark. I'll show you some clips of Caroline Leavitt's disastrous press conference in just a moment. We're also learning that Iran has been laying naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important energy choke point that carries about 1/5 of all crude oil, according to 2 people familiar with U.S. intelligence who spoke to CNN. Only a few dozen having been laid in recent days, the sources said, but Iran has the capability to deploy hundreds, if not thousands more, retaining upward of 80% to 90% of its small boats and mine layers operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. We're also getting data from the United Arab Emirates today about how these Iranian drones are striking far more frequently UAE targets. If you evaluate the ability for these drones to strike, you're seeing somewhere in the range of 20 to 25% increases in strike rates right now. A big oil refinery in the United Arab Emirates was just hit. In fact, the biggest oil refinery in the UAE halted operations after a drone strike caused a fire in the industrial area in which it's located, according to people familiar with the matter. The Abu Dhabi National Oil Co. was assessing damage at the plant, the people said, asking not to be named because the matter is not yet public. This specific refinery can process 922,000 barrels of oil. And then if you take a look at just some of the hit versus intercept rate for ballistic missiles and drone attacks since February 28th for the UAE through today, a lot more of these drones are getting through by significant percentages. And so what that tells us is that the UAE is likely running low on some of these expensive interceptors, right? There's the THAAD system, and then there's also the Patriot missile system. Both are incredibly expensive, and it can cost tens of millions of dollars to strike down a single Shahid drone, which only costs about $20,000 to make. And so instead of the US studying what was going on in Ukraine and how the war was being fought there, whether it was the Iranian Shahid drones being given to Russia, the joint production of ballistic missiles, but keeping the costs low in their attack on Ukraine, Ukraine's ability to stop a lot of these drones, but not all of them. We've always been covering those deadly attacks in Kyiv and Kharkiv and Odessa and all of the areas there, and also Ukraine's ability to use drones against Russia as well. That should have been studied. And let me be very clear, our military preparedness is systemic. I don't want to even act like this is purely a Trump issue, although this is Trump's fault right now. But I think in general, our military, even under the Biden administration, this is bipartisan, I think was slow to adopt and be able to address what the modern warfare was actually looking like, because our military industrial complex was all about buying expensive weapons, these billion-dollar systems, when in fact things were getting very, very cheap in order to mass produce these drones. The situation is that it wasn't Biden who got into this war.
Oh my God, they have U.S. hostages as well. This continues to get worse as we speak.
Right. And so if you're going to hastily get into a war the way Trump did, because Israel was going to strike Iran first, as Rubio and everyone in the Trump regime said, the Trump regime's making up lots of other excuses. If you're going to get into that war and you know you have these vulnerabilities that you have not yet adapted to, that is a big, big problem. You know, Biden, in helping Ukraine, was able to contain a lot of this. So whereas I do place some fault there, as I would any administration, I would go back 20 years. I would go to Obama. I'd go to George W. Bush. There was a lack of foresight into the way modern weapons and modern war would look. Regardless, though, you don't rush into war. Biden was very smart. Biden helped Ukraine. Ukraine was on the front lines, basically, and they still are, fighting these proxy battles, if you will, and fighting Russia, which is critical, which invaded Ukraine. But also, Iran is part of that axis with Russia. Iran, Russia, and China, who Donald Trump thinks that they're his friends, while Russia is out there, and so is China, providing intel to Iran about where to strike. And by the way, Putin's not even hiding it. Like, the Kremlin is putting out statements saying that we stand in solidarity with Iran. They're publicizing those statements about what they're doing. It's not actually like a secret that intelligence is being used to strike the United States. But Biden had a sophisticated plan. And if he was able to build up the anti-drone capabilities, it's probably where it was heading. Now, Donald Trump in 2025, here's the thing. By 2025, Zelensky had figured out, with the help of the Americans, but with Ukrainian ingenuity, this happened in 2025, I want to be clear of the dates, how you address these drone strikes. It's not foolproof. A lot of drones still strike Ukraine. But in 2025, over the summer, Zelensky goes to Donald Trump and says, hey, let us help you. Let us show you what's happening. Why did this happen in the summer? Because that was the first war that Donald Trump got into against Iran. And when you started to see, okay, is Iran going to use the same Shahids that are being used in Russia and being used in Ukraine?
This is so interesting. It's so interesting. Let's see what else we got. Oh, that hasn't aired yet. And that hasn't aired yet either. All right, I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I had. Let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to show. Oh, I like these ladies. They're good.
I think wars in the Middle East are a waste of time and drive up the national debt, and that Donald Trump shouldn't do this. Absolutely. We are in the post-neocon era. And then all roads lead to these guys being such neocons that Condoleezza Rice herself, neocon extraordinaire of the Iraq war fame, shows up to go machinate with these dipshits because this is one of their dreams being realized, because all of these guys shill for Israel so hard. And the American public is always told, tough titties, how are we going to pay for this? Oh, we're going to have to cut Medicare. We're going to have to cut Social Security. This war is still going on. We have very little opposition to it, none in the Republican Party, but I haven't seen Democratic leadership come out in force. Hakeem Jeffries whipping votes. It just doesn't exist. And they do it for this dipshit.
When I watched this, I thought, this is one advantage of not having any plan for a war, any objectives for a war, because then when you go in and you fuck it all up, you can say, oh yeah, I won, and just take what you want as a justification for how you won. I mean, we've heard everything from regime change to military infrastructure to human.
I want to show this picture again. This is what war does. Sad. It's horrible. This is what war does. This is horrible. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. That's all I had today. I do have one more thing, but it is kind of gruesome. And I don't know if that's something you guys want to watch. So I think I might skip that one. It was real gruesome. This one was real gruesome. So I better leave that alone. I'll watch it by myself. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Thanks for sharing your picture, Dale. Thank you, Pickles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go make hamburgers now for dinner. Have a wonderful one. Thank you.